everybody, welcome back to my channel, Originally Jerusalem. So today I'm going to do something that I feel like everybody or a lot of people on the channel want. Which before I start this video, let me just thank everybody for subscribing to me. Even though I do not post consistently, I'm really trying to get it together. I'm going to get a new camera and really try to edit and actually work hard to be consistent on my YouTube channel. I have no social medias to follow, so yeah. So let's just get right into the video. So the video is just going to be some questions and answers that I feel like during this time of police brutality being on the rise and being more obvious, especially after George Floyd. I'm just going to answer some important questions or questions that I deem important. Through all the comments and everything that I've read and responded to, I would just ask a question and then answer it to the best of my ability. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, the first question is, how do I feel about George Floyd's death? Originally, when I first heard about George Floyd's death, this was a time where we were already, I was already emotionally not stable because just so many deaths in New York and so much happening and just so much stress from watching the news every day, which I definitely toned down a lot because it's very stressful to watch the news. So it was during a time where I was watching the news almost every day, hearing all of these things that were happening, from deaths to Trump's responses to them, and it was just really stressful to me. And then when I heard that a black man, when I heard about George Floyd, I was shocked, but I was so shocked that I didn't get a reaction. I didn't give a reaction until about a week later, where I just broke down crying. I was sad, and it was just really depressing to hear about that news. And I always thought that, white people or people of other races seeing black people as a threat was getting better, but instead I see it's actually getting worse. It's really devastating to see that something like George Floyd is even possible in a country where slavery was abolished 100 years ago, over 100 years ago. So this is the next question. Is America still racist? And why or why not? So I definitely believe that America was built on racism, and I don't want to go too deep into it because I feel like there'll be like a whole debate about, and I know some of you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? America was built on racism. But the actual foundation, the people who built this country were people who were enslaved. And I'm just going to get on hints on this topic just a little bit. A lot of people have said to me, oh, but Africans sold other Africans to the Europeans here in America. Other Africans selling other Africans doesn't make it right. So the fact that it happened. I can't do anything about the past. All I can do is something about the future and the present. So I don't have control over my ancestors selling my other ancestors over 400 years ago. And I really don't think that point is super relevant in the fact that America still abuses black and brown people all across the globe, and particularly I'm highlighting here in America with police brutality. So I don't want to get into the how America is a racist topic, because it's like really broad, and I just want to make this video kind of like a 10-15 minute video, so I don't want to get into that too much, but that's just like the snippet. And if you guys want me to say more on that, I can always make another video on that. So I did hear some theories in the comment section. I'm just going to bring up this one particular theory. George Floyd is still alive, and that the whole George Floyd situation was just a hoax to get black and brown people to react in some type of way. I think that comment is utterly ridiculous. And the reason why I think it's utterly ridiculous is because we saw him pass. We saw the officer kneel on his neck for such a long time, to the point where he crushed his airways. So I don't think that he's still alive, hiding in some type of underground cave where the government is keeping him hidden. I think that was a utterly ridiculous comment, and I'm laughing because it's just so ridiculous that I can't believe somebody would actually say that and actually think that. But if you don't believe that, and I'm not gonna go too much into that because I do think that sometimes the government does suspicious things, and things just like, I don't know about this, but I don't know. I don't think George Floyd was a hoax, so that's what I'm gonna say. So another thing I just want to say before I get too deep into this video is a lot of people, when I would say something or I'll say something and they'll like rebuttal it with something from their experiences. I do want to say that your experiences do not make my experience less valid. Your beliefs do not make my beliefs less valid. Now you may not agree, you may say that's ridiculous, that doesn't make sense, what are you talking about? But just because you have a different set of beliefs or moral standards or experiences doesn't mean that mine are wrong. So I just want to say that. I also want to get into what Black Lives Matter means to me. So I see a lot of people with Black Lives Matter poster, and I'm just going to give some more context to this. I hear a lot of people of other races, particularly Caucasians, say, I don't believe in Black Lives Matter because, and they'll say things like, I don't believe in Black Lives Matter because I feel like you're giving more authority, or you're trying to say Black lives are superior to white lives, or superior to Puerto Rican lives, or superior to Afghanistanian lives, whatever it is. So, and I was riding my bike the other day with my father, and I saw the poster that said, Black Lives Matter. It was something along the lines like Black Lives Matter isn't a good slogan or something like that. Something around those words, like they didn't support Black Lives Matter basically. And so I know everybody has seen plenty of Black Lives Matter posters all around the neighborhood, all just riding past, and you'll just look at it and be like, how, whatever your view is, you'll just think about, what has been happening and everything. To me, Black Lives Matter does not mean that Black lives are superior. I'm going to clearly explain this because I think a lot of people think that us saying Black Lives Matter means white lives don't matter, Puerto Rican lives don't matter, Chinese lives don't matter. That's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying personally. I don't know about other people, but I think Black people as a whole, when they say Black Lives Matter, they do not mean other lives are meaningless or less meaningful. I think that saying Black Lives Matter is bringing awareness to the fact that our lives matter too. And I think that with all this police brutality, people don't really truly realize that Black lives matter too. And just because I'm not the same skin color as you doesn't mean my life is meaningless. So I think that Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, all these different people who were killed by police officers or killed by anyone, it's not that we're saying that your lives are less important. We're trying to bring awareness to the fact that our lives are important, because I don't see in America as a whole bringing awareness to the fact that Black lives are important. And I think that Black people are targets, and they're also, not only are we targets, people a lot, police officers in particular, not all of them, but I think that police officers assume and already have the I can't think of the word, but they already assume ahead of time that we are violent criminals, we're from some type of terrible background, we're poor, and that we're going to try to do something to them. So I think that that's an unfair assumption, not knowing someone. And Black Lives Matter is just trying to bring awareness to the fact that Black lives do matter. So I think that's really important. That's what it means to me. I can't say the whole Black race agrees with me, because I really can't. But I think that most of the time when people say Black Lives Matter, they're saying the same thing that I am saying. I'm also going to get on to the riots. So how do I feel about the riots? The riots were not lawful. I'm going to say they weren't lawful. One, they were not lawful. It wasn't okay for you to go and loot. And I'm not saying you in particular, but just people in general. It's not okay for people in general to go and loot and just abuse the power that they have and use it for evil. I don't think that was okay at all. I do think it was correct to take the proper precautions as far as arresting people who did that. But I do understand people's hurt. I do understand the fact that they're upset. And a lot of people don't understand that some of those people who were out looting, this happened to them. Like, George Floyd was their little cousin. It was their brother. George Floyd was their dad. Like, that, and not the actual person, George Floyd, but I'm just saying, they had someone close to them die because of police brutality. And so I think that it was not the proper response, but it was a response out of anger and frustration that we have been dealing with this problem for so long, and it feels like every time we get even a centimeter forward, we move like 10 feet backward. And it's just like this feeling of feeling stuck. Like, is it ever going to be okay for me to drive with my windows tinted and my music blasting down a dark street at night? Like, is it ever going to be okay? Do I have to be paranoid when a white cop pulls me over? Like, it's a lot of stress being black in America. And I'm not saying every black person feels stressed, because some people, they grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in the suburbs, so I never really understood it. Just this this feeling of not being safe, or I never personally understood it, but I understand now because I'm seeing all these things that are happening, and I'm starting to understand that America hasn't progressed as much as I thought it did. And I don't think the riots were right at all. I don't think that was okay to do that, but I do understand why they were frustrated. And understanding doesn't mean I condone it, so I just want to be clear about that. Yeah, so that's the end of my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys at the end, like, share. You don't even have to subscribe, but if you didn't like it, dislike it, I guess. Tell me how I can improve. I don't edit my videos, which I'm sure I've said it a lot, but I don't edit my videos, so whatever I say is just in here. So hope you guys have a great day, and also stay tuned, because I am going to start a podcast, and stay tuned for that within the next month, because I have started a podcast with my dad, and it's talking about some of these same issues, but just in the form of a book that we're reading called The Warmth of Other Suns. And we read the book and we just dialogue on it, just like a regular dialogue. So if you enjoyed this video, probably definitely enjoy the podcast. And you may even be able to be a guest speaker, because I have had about 5 or 6 people become guest speakers on our not yet published podcast. So stay tuned for new videos, y'all. And if you guys want a particular type of video, just tell me. If you guys want me to upload more Cuba vlogs, really anything that y'all want, I'll do it. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Bye.